We have the rap tapes joining us. Shout out to the rap
Well,
tapes. We got the rap tapes joining us tonight on Wednesday. Everybody, yeah, we were just talking about, we were just vibing like we do, you know what I'm saying? And as two businessmen with different perspectives, obviously, we were just talking about the real, how we have an advantage by actually being disadvantaged. We have an advantage by being disadvantaged, basically, is what we're talking about. And in business, especially in this music industry, that's what we've been talking about, navigating, keeping the same awareness as one would, but doing the right things with it. You know?
it's amazing how people go through this whole navigation process, feel like the right thing by abiding by these laws and by going through the schools and they're learning business. And what they're actually learning is just to fuck their next man over, right? And it's
Yeah.
not really correct. And come with a mindset where it's the opposite to what you're learning in the streets, which is supposed to be the negative approach and supposed to be the wrong way of doing things. I feel like it's a mental manipulation from the school era where they're trying to tell you to do what they want you to do as a government. So it makes them easy. So it makes the government find it easier to manipulate you when you're older. Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. They
It's
get
a
you
good
when you're
form.
young. They get you when
It's
you're
a good
young
form.
because you locked in with the lie of getting married and kids. So now you're obligated to get a job, but you're not getting a job. You're getting all these loans to go to a school to train for a position that probably won't even be there when you get out. Then when you do get out, you're entry level, but you're $50,000 in debt to a job that won't even be stable enough to pay that back. However, remember you got these kids and a wife. So yeah, you're screwed out the gate.
Yeah, yeah. And they don't teach you financial independence in schools. They don't teach you how to run your own business. They tell you to get a job. They tell you to go to university.
That's
So if
all
you
they
don't finish
train you for.
12 and go to university, then you won't be able to get that degree. They don't tell you about investing. They don't tell you about how to manage your money once you've got your money. They just say it'll be given to you once you go out there into the workforce. Then
That's the
you've got your
line.
money, and that's where it ends. That's
Now,
it.
flip side, same scenario streetwise. And we're not condoning street shit, but streetwise, they teach you finances. They teach you how to make money. They teach you how not to fuck up money. The streets teach you the real how to survive without that. See, it's the opposite. They teach you how to work for somebody. The streets teach you how to survive without anybody.
Because from the streets you come from nothing. That's the
You
thing.
come
The
from
concept
nothing.
in the
So
street,
now
you
you
don't have.
have now that disadvantage becomes an advantage because now you learn how to street. Okay, now I'm going into this education knowing that I don't need it. This is just a plus. Now, when I go into this workforce and I'm dealing with these people who've never been in the street, oh yeah, I'm running circles around these motherfuckers. They don't know this. What? Y'all don't know this street shit? I got a suit and tie, but I'm running circles around you, motherfucker, because I'm using my hustle. You feel what I'm
Well,
saying?
it's called life experience, isn't it? You know, a lot of these people, they go from the school, they go from being at home with their parents, from being given whatever they need. They go to school, they get given what they need, then they go through the education department,
Okay.
they go to a job, then their boss is there, and they get given what they need to, to go through the week. They come home, then they go to sleep. They wake up in the morning, they get a wife, they have kids, they abide by the rules and the regulations and the laws. Everything's laid out
Yeah.
in a grand scheme, in a plan.
Right.
They pay their tax, they get their wages, they keep
And
going, they
then
pay
they're
their
safe. And then they're
house.
safe. They're not
But what
subject to abuses. They're not because they're going to church. They're paying the taxes, and they're going to the baseball, football games. They're safe. Then
but
you
what
got
happens
us.
up when something goes wrong, right?
Right.
When the wife leaves and divorces you and takes the house, and
Keep talking. Keep talking. Keep talking.
you can't pay your mortgage payments because you got you've lost your job because your business has gone redundant. Something like that is what people aren't prepared for. And when
Right.
something like that happens, then it's too real. And that's
Right.
the thing that's scary, is you're not learning about these real life situations. You know, these things that the education department don't prepare you for, which
Right.
is something that the government, you know, all the time they go through. In Australia, I'm watching at the moment, the interest rates go up for these mortgage repayments, and it goes up, you know, I mean, $100 a month, right? And these people are on their way. They got their wages. They might go up $100 a fortnight. They've got their specific wages that don't go up, but these interest payments go up twice a year, maybe more, maybe 3 times a year. But like I said, the wages are the same. And they're there with their families. They're budgeted out. They've only got a certain amount of money, but then they've got all these extra costs. The financial, the cost of living is going up exponentially. The taxes are going up. The economy is getting harder to live in because of the finances that are going up and the paychecks that are staying the same. And this is something that they don't teach you about in school. You have to hustle. You have to have multiple jobs and you have to have your investments diversified. Otherwise, when one thing goes down or when the taxes go up, you're not going to have enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be all comfy. It's supposed to be like once you've got that job, you're set. But not everybody gets that job where they can grow in their workforce. If you're
Right.
in a job where you can grow in your workforce,
Right.
and you can go up in the food chain,
Right.
then you can get a pay.
Right.
But what does that mean?
Right.
That means stepping on somebody's head to get up.
Yeah.
And a lot of these people are in the workforce with colleagues that they respect, but
Mm-hmm.
they need more money. So,
Right.
you know, what happens? They have to be going behind their co-workers' backs to be able to get up in the food chain, to get a pay rise, to get a rise in the company. And that's when it becomes moralistically incorrect, the behavior that they do, because they don't know a way to hustle on the side because they're so busy. A normal person
Absolutely.
from learning from themselves, from the streets, that's not from an
Right.
education department, has more time. So if they
Right.
need to diversify and pivot because one investment or one portfolio isn't as good as the other, you can go from one thing to another because you've got more time. But if you're locked into a 9 to 5 and you're sitting there paying a mortgage, you don't have the opportunity to do that. You've only got 24 hours a day. You need to sleep for 8 hours a day. You know what I mean? You got that little bit of time when you come home or when you wake up in the morning. You don't have time to be diversifying.
Mm-hmm.
So your own is to quit your job and then not be able to make your mortgage repayments, and then your wife leaves you, and you know what I mean? Like, it's a real spiral of effect. And that's what they don't teach. That these days, that the interest rates, the taxes, they all go up, and your payments, they stay the same unless you're in a company where you have to fight for that top position. And some of these people were in these companies for years and years and years. They show it in movies all the time, but people think it's just movies. You know, they're in these positions where they've got these bosses, these CEOs, that they just got to keep impressing for years and years before they get their promotions.
You know, it used to be like that. See what time is moving so fast, and it's not moving at the same rate. It's moving like it's exponentially, and people aren't seeing the rate of change as from my day as we are now, especially just with technology and the knowledge, right? Back when my parents bought a house in their 30s, in the early 80s, there were long-term career jobs, stable jobs. It was automotive companies here. My dad had a fucking job at Case Factory. He could walk to work. You know what I'm saying? We had a house in the suburbs, and these were union jobs that guaranteed a check and guaranteed, medical and you could plan a life with the jobs that you had. You know what I'm saying? You could say, "Oh, this is my son." So these were jobs that were grandfathered. You know what I'm saying? Like third generation fucking workers back in the day. And that's what was sold. But then once we start outsourcing and these jobs were just fleeting and people were more corrupt and like cheaper parts and cheaper labor, we still have the mindset and we were teaching children, get a job and you can have this house. You can't do that shit no more.
Look,
You,
there's a
you know
lot
what
of
I'm saying? So what I'm saying is it used to be like that. That's the lie that sold is go to college. It's all laid out for you. No, just common sense lets you know with AI. It's like you really have to pay attention to even what the fuck you get into not going to school. Just anything you do because it
I,
might not be there in 5 years. You
I
see what
think
I'm saying?
a major problem comes from there's a lot of people that are third generation now, second to third generation, living in America and in Australia and in other countries as well, that have got parents that have worked these positions and they've worked in the same country for generations and had those jobs, and now getting to the third generation where there's people that are coming from other countries that have had less opportunities, that have done it a lot harder, and now being accepted into our country, they're willing to work hard because there's the opportunities there. And I think it's great. I think it's great that these people can come over here and start a new life and have an opportunity to work when they are working, right? But these third generation, second generation people over here have felt entitled because their grandparents and their parents and their grandparents have been working so easily to get this money that they think we can just do that as well. But like you said, with technology enhancing, with AI, with all these generated jobs, so people are losing their positions, and also you've got cheaper labor
Yeah.
because these people from other countries that have had the not so many opportunities can come over here and now be able to work in comfort rather than work, like in India and in the Middle East, all of these places where it's very hard to get a job. And if they do get a job, they're not getting a lot of money for what they do.
Mm-hmm.
They come to countries like America and Australia and they can work a lot easier and more comfortable and safer in safer places.
Mm-hmm.
All of these third generation people that have been used to what they're doing and feel a bit entitled and go, well, I want to earn more money because my grandparents were earning that money and they bought that house. I want a house like they have, but it costs more, so I want more money for what I do.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to lose their job to either a digital replication of what they do or one of these workers that's willing to work just as hard, if not harder, for less money or the same amount of money because they don't feel entitled because generationally they didn't have what these people do have.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I feel like the next wave of hard workers are those people that are coming into our countries that didn't have it generationally, that weren't given their lives, didn't have an inheritance, didn't have a business that was handed to them, didn't have parents that have houses.
This
So
is
they
what's
want
unfortunate about that here in America with this immigration shit that's going on. And I'm not trying to take any stances, political stances, but I feel that I agree 1,000%. Immigrants, blacks, minorities, whatever, we know Mexicans, we know who built fucking America. We know who fucking busts their ass and grinds and keeps this shit up. However, I feel that it's unfortunate that a lot of immigrants busted their ass here and just didn't get their fucking whatever they needed to do to stay here correct. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's up with that though. So
well,
I'm
it's
all for, you know what I'm saying, the
country.
immigrants. Hell yeah, man. I would hate I would hate to fucking bust my fucking ass and get that house and get that life. I done fucking came from a fucking bad shit island, whatever. No disrespect. But I came to America or Australia. I followed the fucking rules. I fucking like as a black man, I gotta work 10 times as hard as every black man anyway. So I already know how that feels. So, but when you do create something, you want to fucking keep it, man. Because you can't
Well,
fucking fall for the lie of America. When you come here and you get your shit, you gotta watch these motherfuckers because they will take it from you. And I hate what's going on with the immigrants, but you should have fucking saw it coming. As soon as you get here, you gotta make sure you gotta build your house on solid fucking rock. The first fucking thing you should do here, busting your ass, you got 100,000 house, you living a great life. Make sure your kids will never have to worry about. You should never trust Trump. You should never trust Biden. You should never trust a government in your life at all. Take them out of the equation of your fucking life already.
well, it
You
only
have to
comes
protect yourself
down to
because
the
they
government.
are here to fuck you, not help you. They're not here to help us. They're here to
You don't,
fuck us.
you don't, it only comes to a bubble when the government's in debt. Australia, we're in debt. The whole world's in debt. The US has got a president now that's looking at the financial debt that they're in, and he wants to cover it. So he's trying to say, get out the immigrants because he wants the Americans to have that
Yeah,
work and make
that's great. There's the
probably
bad
work.
immigrants. Yeah, the bad immigrants, just I can't speak for, you just got to do what you're supposed to do. Well, for the ones who genuinely tried, you feel what I'm saying? I can't speak for everybody because I live here and I know how people are shitty. You know what I'm saying? These guys look innocent, but they're not. They're not. So I'm more heartless because I'm in a real life racist shit. You feel what I'm saying? So these aren't petty people. These are judges and lawyers and people that are lying to everybody on the news. No. So I'm not trying to out or expose them, but what I'm saying is if we don't have to worry about that, if I cut Trump out of my life equation, you see what I'm saying? If I cut Jews and Cubans and all this race out of my life, if I cut Christianity and Muslim shit out of my life, if I cut all of that out of my fucking life, not saying I hate it, not saying I disagree with it, but saying that I won't let that rest in my brain today. Because and then I say, you know what? I'm going to be aware of it, but I won't allow it to be an obstacle to my goals. So
The
like a lot like
government,
that's why a lot of businessmen they don't get into politics and shit because as a business they don't want their customers judging them when they just come to buy a sandwich. So they shut their mouth. I'm not gonna say my just like on the internet, with celebrities. They want to say what I say, but they can't. They'll get attacked. That's real. That's reality. We can't be open. We can't be honest. We can't, else we can't grow. We'll attack each other. I'm programmed to attack you if you don't like me. That's the internet. We see it every fucking day. You know what I'm saying? We see it by our friends liking and sharing it. Our family, bro. It's like right here. So what I do is I say, okay, I see it, but as a leader now, not not the sheep that's complaining about it, as the one who's aware of it and got through it, now I have to not complain about it no more because I'm not under any stress. You feel what I'm saying? So for me to keep reiterating the stress that I'm not going through will put my followers and my constituents like, fuck, there's no getting out of this ever. I might as well quit then, man. It's like, fuck, look at Jay-Z, look at Diddy. It's like, if nobody ever gets free, then what's the point of fucking being free? But there is, you see what I'm saying? So it's like, as a leader, I have to show people like, yo, do the right thing. Do the right thing. Don't spaz out like me. Don't crash out like I did. Don't do all the stupid things that I did already that you have not done because I was stupid. And then once you do that, it's like you're giving people hope and a direction and a way out so they don't have to go through it. You feel what I'm saying? You don't want the whole point of leadership in business. I don't know. I got into business so I don't have to want to work for nobody. I like being on my own time. That's why I got into business. I don't want to work for nobody. Period. It's simple as that. So it's like the whole point is freedom. That's the whole point.
Do you really want to be working for a company or an industry and then it goes broke and you're relying on them?
That's the whole point, freedom. So I'm trying to educate people on how to be free from bondage of. So if people are saying, in order for you to be successful, you got to vote Trump, I'm telling you, no, the fuck you do not. Because I haven't.
To be free, you really just got to not involve yourself in politics.
Not anything, not just politics, family sometimes.
It's true.
So how are you free if you're taking sis here, daughter here, your wife here? What? How is that free? You're not free. You're doing some shit. You're not free. It's not freedom. It's an obligation and duty. Freedom is telling your wife and kids goodbye for a week and I'm going to do what the fuck I want. Can you do that? Fuck no. Because it's all, hey, where you at? You got to do this. Hey, where you at? You can't do that. That's freedom, sir. That's freedom. That's what billionaires do because they don't have to worry about their wife telling them to check in. They don't have to worry about their kids telling them that they have nannies and shit. They can fly all whenever they want. That's freedom. Freedom ain't 20 kids. What the fuck? Who sells that lie? That's hell. It's not fucking fun. I've babysitted before. Kids aren't fun. That's stressful as fuck. I'm not going to lie to myself. That's medical bills. And I'm not here to stress nobody out. But we're talking about freedom. Freedom is being financially free, not rich, but to where if my children did get in an accident, I'm not concerned about it. I can afford it. If my wife did need something, she's not going to stress me out about it. I can afford it. That's freedom. If all of us want to go to Disney World next month, I don't have to ask my boss for time off for 3 fucking days. That's not freedom. You're asking your boss for time off. That's not freedom. I'm not knocking it, but I'm trying to go higher places with the brain. You feel what I'm saying? So, I got people way smarter than me, man. I got a friend that's a surgeon, another friend that's a stockbroker, millionaire, been smarter than me. I'm late. I was the dumbass in college. But what I'm saying is, this guy was working for a stockbroker. I watched him. I was an engineer. He was a stockbroker. He did all the things he needed to do. He's writing books now and shit. He fucking lives in Panama with his kids. He's fucking free. That's freedom. I see it. My friend is that. He's in Panama fucking zip lining with his kids in the fucking jungles with his shirt off. That's freedom. Fred Hampton Jr. is in Africa right now on safari, petting fucking lions, and right now on live, in real life. You can look at it. That's freedom. That's what I'm talking about.
But these people got to create those financial opportunities.
Absolutely. Absolutely, you have to.
Sometimes you've got to make sacrifices. That's the thing. Sometimes you make sacrifices.
Absolutely.
Oh, you do. It's not sometimes. It's you do. It's what you want to sacrifice, and when
Yeah.
you want to sacrifice that time.
Now, I'm not knocking it. You know, I'm not knocking happiness. Yeah, I wish I had a wife and kids. I wish I had a family. I was in love too, but that's not where I'm at. So that's not. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like I I have to sell what I know because you know it is what it is. But I agree, having a job is not going to do it. You know, at all. Just going to work and thinking you're going to have this and build that and do that, that is not going to work. You have to have multiple revenue streams, whether it's a hustle or whatever. Got to, no doubt. Sitting around working 8 hours and just having a weekend. Check this out. If you're at work while the banks are open and while you can run around and do business, you're at work. And then when you get off work, everything's closed. And then when you're free, it's the weekend. When do you have time to build a business? When do you have time to get equipment and measure things and do anything? You don't. So we sell this. We have to sacrifice and make time. I have the job, cool, 8 hours. I need another 4 hours to do my thing for me, my business, whatever the fuck it is to make that job not so I don't be dependent on that job. You feel what I'm saying? So my wife is gonna have to give me a fucking break. My family's gonna have to give me a break. You see what I'm saying? You have to
Time
make
management.
time. Right. So
You have to have good time management.
you wouldn't have what you have if you didn't have time to fucking do it.
But
That
but saying that, the reason that I got into rap tapes, the reason that I got into graffiti was because of my family breaking down. Right? It was from something. I sacrificed my education. I dropped out of school. I dropped out of school at year 9, and I started hustling. I was from a background. My father had a car yard, used car yard, and I was around crime. I was around, I was around bad shit. I got given an opportunity. I got 100 grand, and that was from suing community service. All right. So I was in the courts. I was doing community service. I sued them. I got 100, and then I decided to go my own way. But I made the sacrifice of education. Right. So a lot of people, you say, oh fuck, scans. You're doing well, man. It's hard. I am learning currently communication. I'm learning business ethics. I'm learning to respect myself. Okay. This is something that people would have learned when they were, 16, 17 years old.
respect that. I respect that. And me too. I'm going through that right now. Like I spent a lot of time to myself maturing because I'm not used to being this fucking social, man. It's like I have to take time. I can't just jump out there and be like, hey, I'm this person. I'm not. I have to be patient and get my mind right. And I applaud you on that, man. It's like it takes a man to even hold himself accountable to even think like that, man. So that's huge, man. I
But
respect
I'm
that.
39. I'm
I respect
39 now.
that.
If I was doing this stuff when I was 16, if I had got into a career when I was 16, now I'm not saying working for a job for a company, but my father said that I was going to do an apprenticeship, mechanics apprenticeship with him, and then I could have learned the family trade and taken over the business. Then I would have had something that I feel like I could have learned and been involved with that gave me money to be able to succeed at a younger age. Now, he was too busy. The business wasn't succeeding. He was getting older and sicker. So I was doing my own thing. My family, my mother and my father were fighting. They were going through a divorce. So I felt like the streets were somewhere that accepted me, and that my friends and my brothers had more time to invest in me because my parents were just like, just go, just go. So that's where I got into graffiti. And that's where I got into graffiti was where I learned about rap music, and I didn't have the internet. I didn't have access to all of this rap music that was out there that people in America might have been able to listen to and see. I'm in Australia. So when I first got the computer, I started learning and educating myself because I wanted to have a deeper knowledge on something that I loved. My graffiti, I had everyone around me. That was cool. I could learn in the streets. But when I started learning about this music that was in another country and I had some money there, I wanted to show my friends that there's more to rap music than that they had seen before. And that's when I started investing in tapes. And I built this collection that I really believed in. Now, my father kept on saying, "You're crazy." My old lady kept on saying, "You're fucking crazy. What are you doing?" You know, I used to have her helping me get these fucking win these auctions, and like I'd have the tape sent out to the business, to the car yard, and I'd be sitting in the office with bidding on these tapes, and my parents go, "You paying $100 for a fucking tape? You off your head?" Well, it wasn't until my old man, he had a stroke in 2000 and I think it was 2010. He had a stroke and he couldn't operate the business anymore. So I took over this little shed that was out the back of the car yard. We rented out the car yard, and then I turned that shed into Rare Find Records. I spent 10 grand and I made it into a showroom from an old shed with car parts in it.
Wow.
And I took a risk. I risked that money, it was probably more. It's probably about 15 to 20 grand.
Nice.
I mean, I sacrificed and took that risk.
Nice.
And I turned it into a studio, a shop, and a gallery.
Nice.
And I was there for 4 years, and I forged my name, and I started a record
and that's
label.
what the fuck I'm talking about.
And I gave local artists budgets, 5 grand. If I seen that, and I thought that they were good at what they were doing, and I felt like they had a real future in music, but they couldn't do it themselves.
Right.
I thought of myself as a stepping stone label. Right.
Right.
That's what
You're an angel investor. You're an investor.
So if these people put out an album and then they get picked by a major, go. You know what I mean? Right. I don't want to look back, but I'm giving these local artists an opportunity to, and I was managing them and organizing the pressing of their CDs, the promotion, the distribution, the management when we do tours afterwards. I had a roster of about 6 artists.
Nice.
And we were touring around Australia, and I was creating a lineage in Adelaide and Australia. I was creating a foundation for people to come to have as a home base. And also, I wanted to give back to the hip-hop community. I was doing shows. I wanted to enhance the community. And I feel like a lot of other record labels that are around now, or were around at the time, were motivated by me and inspired by me. I was inspired by other record labels like Obese Records. There were a lot of record labels, Nuff Said Records from Melbourne. There were a lot of record labels that were doing it before me, but I wanted to be a part of that industry. And I took that sacrifice and I did it. Right? Now, that was something that I would, my old man, he was in a wheelchair. He was unable to communicate. I had him sitting right next to me at the desk. You know what I mean? I was a carer at the time. I was his fucking carer. I had to go home with him. I had to, like, when he shit himself, man, I'd be taking him out the back toilet and cleaning him up. You know what I mean? The customers are in the shop. I'd tell them, fucking wait. I had my producer sit down when I was there. You know what I mean? Like, I had him in the other office when we were still running the car yard. And
that's why you're blessed.
He'd fly off the handle with the guy that was working for us. So I'd come and bring him into my shop and I'd calm him down. Like, this was family, you know what I mean? I was doing this as family. I was looking after my family, but also living my dreams and doing what I wanted to do. And I used to tell him, I used to say, Dad, look at what I've done. You know, you used to say that this would be crazy, but now these people are coming in and they're buying these records off me, and they're saying, you know, we want to be a part of your record label. I was doing it. I was living my dream. I was doing what I wanted. Nice. And you know what happened to Rare Find Records? I sold that land to pay for his medical costs. My old lady, she had never been into my shop once, but she came in and she said, I'm going to sue your old man and take him for half. We're going to divorce and we're going to sell that house that he lives in. or we're going to sell the property, the land at where Rare Find is on, Statewide Autos, the car yard and the shop. And she goes, we'll get rid of West Lakes. We'll get rid of the house. And I said, nah, fuck that. She goes, well, you can't get rid of your business. And I said, yeah, we're going to get rid of the business because he needs the house to live in, so I can still care for him and I can be his carer at home. She said, nah, put him in a nursing home. Put him in a nursing home and keep the business. I said, fuck that. So we sold the land, got rid of the shop. And that's why Rare Find Records was no longer. Right? I made that sacrifice for my old man's care. He would have done the same thing for me. He was the only one that was there when I was in jail for all those years.
As you should, absolutely. No doubt.
He was the only one back. But then afterwards, and this is the thing that makes, this is what makes a person, right? And this is what makes your beliefs and your trust and gives you trust issues. Me and him were living at that house at West Lakes. I was caring for him. I was hustling some CDs out of the house. I had all the stuff from the shop at the house. I'm selling my CDs. My customers are coming to the house. You know, the old man's there. I'm caring for him still. Same sort of thing. I get a call one day. Well, actually, I don't think I even got a call. I got a formal letter. The old lady's like, I don't have enough money. I'm going to take the house now as well. So she sold the house on us. She put me on the streets, right? But before that, I said, listen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be Dad's full-time carer. And all I needed to do was go to the guardianship board, and I needed one member of the family to come in and say that they would be that they would go as like a guarantor, no cash involved or anything, just be there as a support. Somebody would be there to support me. My old lady said, yeah, no problem, I'll be there. So I wheel my old man into the guardianship board. We got this is like a table of lawyers there, magistrates, whatever. She goes up to the stand and she goes, he needs to go into a nursing home. He can't look after him. She went completely opposite on me, man. Completely opposite. And I just fucking lost it. Wheeled the old man out. I couldn't believe it. So he was forced into nursing. And she said that she was doing me a favor. You know what I mean? My old man's still in that fucking nursing home, man. And I can't fucking do shit for him because now all of his fucking stuff, because he didn't have a will, is in the hands of the guardianship board.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I run Rare Find now from home, and I do it. Rare Find Records is still my label. I still give budgets to people if I see that they're a dope artist and I feel like they need help. I still manage local.
You want to? I know we talked before about doing something collaborating with the Rare Finds. Next March. I've been getting a flood of opportunities. I've really been focusing on this, but now that this is kind of going on a downward slope now, I can focus more on the podcast. So in saying that, in March, I had so much going, I had to kind of break it down. And so I gave everybody a week to decide whenever they were free, because I know people have families and I know people have other things going on, and I'm the one that has most of the time. So, and I know I do my thing on Wednesdays at 7 and Saturdays at 7. However, that doesn't mean that I can't produce a show for you on a consistent basis every month, to where we do the Rare Finds, whatever, and with your idea and professionally, you know what I'm saying? On the, not like, how we do on a podcast. You see what I'm saying? And I can edit I could do that, produce for you if you would like.
I'd love to be able to discuss some of the topics in the magazine in more general, more of a general face-to-face.
And we'll dedicate that. We will dedicate a series for the Rap Tape series. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I got my own thing. I'm gonna start doing a master class of just some self-awareness type shit with the like mentoring black youth, yada yada yada, comedy. So I want to keep my shit a little bit separate from everybody else's because Gloria's Gardens in New Orleans, and she's a 78-year-old lady who got screwed over. They were screwing her over, and I got kind of fucking pissed off about it. But she eventually won out. But she's has a nonprofit in New Orleans. She has a performance venue, real sweet lady, gives back to the community, does fundraising, community events, and she has a garden, an organic garden that she grows. So they were trying to fuck her over with her garden, and she had to go through this whole legal battle. A 78-year-old lady that bullying a 78-year-old lady out of her own ideas and shit. But she eventually got her own thing. So what I'm going to do is kind of help her get that out and get her some things going on. But I need that separate from what everybody else is doing. You know what I'm saying? Because, it's
That's good
just out of
community work.
respect. Just out of respect. You know what I'm saying? That's
Good
more
community
of a
work.
right. She's a lady, an older lady at that. So I know I talk rough and I do things differently, and everybody got their own thing. God Fear has the hip hop, old school Chicago shit. He gets wild, you know what I'm saying? And we got something going on in Africa too. We'll be collaborating with some things going on in Africa as well. So just to let you know, we'll be doing that probably in March.
Well, I've just bought out issue 3 of the rap tapes. Okay, that's the flyer. Now, this is going to be distributed throughout America, Europe, and Australia. I've just printed it. It's got some new issues. It's got some new stuff in there from Factors in the Game about the Pittsburgh Underground Part 2. It's got an artist spotlight on Elwood. Collectors out there would know Elwood Media, one of the legends of the collector's game for 4 decades.
Wow.
Bought his first 4. It's got an article about White Tim from UGK and his new project coming out called the H-Town Underworld.
Most shit.
And it's got an article about Basement Productions, the Marshall Mathers and the James Deal story. So we're covering some ground on that. And
Nice.
I'd like to get some people involved for issue 4. I've
Okay.
already got a few articles ready to go. I'm talking with an investor at the moment, and we're talking about putting it out as a 24-page magazine, distributing it throughout America. I've got a design team that's working on the layout at the moment, so that should be coming soon. Takes a little bit of time. We're hoping to get it out via issue 3, but that's going to come out soon. I've got an interview coming out with LYL Radio. That's a European, French-based production company. And I'm working with I've got another big project on the way. I want to keep that under my hat, but there's some big stuff coming. So I want people to stay tuned. The magazine's going to be just a teaser. I've got 10 issues. I'm going to do 10 to 12 issues of this, and then the book's coming out. This is a precursor to the book.
Oh yeah.
So I just wanted to keep people interested, and I wanted to keep things physical, not just as a digital thing, not just Instagram.
Right.
So if anybody wants these magazines, they're out there.
We need to get together. We need to get together and figure out how to put all of this into your podcast. So when we go live, we'll have all of that. And we want to follow your progression too, because it's good that when people have you establish a more of a deep relationship with your followers when we can join you on your journey. So this will be something to where we'll be. You're doing a lot. This ain't something you can do just in one podcast. You know what I'm saying? So this is like something that we can do an ongoing series of you building this.
I appreciate that.
I think that's that would be best to do.
I appreciate that. I mean, I appreciate all of the followers, all of the people that tune in, all the people that support me.
Yeah, me too.
People are out that are sharing the game. You know,
Yeah.
people like Rambo, people like Will who helped me out with the magazine, Gabe. You know, people that are there that travel to Australia to come
There
and
you
see me
go.
and have been at the house and checked out the collection. There are so many people to mention. You know, shout outs to Jester who's doing his thing. I mean, there's so many people out there that have supported me over the last since 2016, and I appreciate everybody. So I want to make this something that people can actually physically hold in their hand and then look back on and say, yeah, you know, Scandal, he done his thing. He did preserve that underground tradition and that culture. I want people to see these tapes, and I want people to hear the music as well. So I've got
I,
another mixtape
I
out
got
very
me
soon.
I got me some history.
Is that the designs?
Huh?
Is that the designs?
Yeah, yeah. Got me a piece of history right here.
That's what I mean. Physical, physical, physical.
Physical,
Not
yeah.
just digital bullshit, man. Not just talking on a platform. Yep.
Absolutely. Real shit.
Man, that was a crazy night. That was a crazy night, man. I had two of the homeboys down there, and they were supposed to help me, and they were out doing another piece just up the road, and this dude comes along, and they're like getting into it with this guy. I'm like trying to hide back and just chill, and they ended up helping. I was there for about 5-6 hours in that piece. It's all flooded out now. The piece is beautiful, still looks beautiful,
Yeah, man.
but the but there's a river flowing in front of it
I
now. So
like that though. It look dope like that though. That's
yeah,
just
man,
hard.
yeah, fucking
That's
dope.
just fucking hard, man. So yeah, we definitely have to do like a real show with you,
Yeah, cool.
like more than a podcast even.
I love the sign in the back there, man. It looks fucking dope.
Yeah, man. So I should have some good windfall coming up. So my birthday is in April, so I gotta do my birthday thing. So I gotta do a lot of budgeting this week, but that's not gonna stop anything with what the projects that we can do. I'm really interested in doing this show though,
Let's kick it off.
but it would take us to actually be put some accountability. And if I'm not throwing it out there because you weren't prepared, but I have more time, so if you would, I would really, really like to see if we could put together some type of weekly show.
I'd love
You
to be
know,
able to do these topics in a more
yeah,
broader form. Go over some tapes, talk about the things that I've been doing, the tapes that I've been
so
discovering, the people.
something structured and organized each show, but real. Like you're building these projects and this book, so I would like you to talk about these things. And I'm trying to figure out in my mind. I would
I've
have
got a
to
few.
like narrate. I would have to narrate some type of way. We'll work it out. We'll work it out. But just find some time for us to talk and put it
I
together.
got some that I'll speak to and see if they want to come on as guests and talk about
Absolutely.
the music from the
It'll be
90s.
like a documentary type of shit. You want to put as much as even subliminally. You might have some sponsors that you might want in the background of your shit too. You feel what I'm saying? Some people might want to pay you to be involved in the brand ambassadors just to have their names, our cash apps on there. So we want to encompass as many, not just revenue streams, but as many associates, valuable associates that would add to the synergy of this. You feel what I'm saying? That would help push. I think
There's a lot of
that's
people I'd love
that's
to
how we
plug, man.
do that.
A
That
lot of good artists out there and good labels that have been doing their stuff for so long, and I feel haven't got the credit.
that's the business. That's the business. We're gonna make sure that these valuable people get their credit, and we put it all together in a package for them. You know what I'm saying? I got my people, you got your people, and the money is not the issue. You know what I'm saying? So we're giving them their flowers. We want to give everybody their flowers.
Check out the Elwood Collector's Spotlight, man. Where is it? This dude here, man, Elwood and 12 Man Rambo, they've been putting that shit in, they've been putting that game in for so many years. Man, they really need their flowers. They deserve what they deserve everything that's been spoken about in the article. Check them out on Bandcamp.
I'm gonna leave this up too.
12 Man Rambo on Bandcamp, man. Check them out. Their mixes, they're dope. Very inspirational collectors.
We're so I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna leave this up. I'm gonna leave this up for tonight, man. I think we did pretty good. I be trying to really escape and run off. So I'm glad you joined with me tonight, else I would have just got off. So, but absolutely, man. I'm gonna go ahead and lock out and hit me up. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you're free, and I really want to do that, man. I
No
really want
probs.
to do.
We'll speak soon.
All
Thanks,
right.
everyone.
All right. I appreciate you.
Take it easy.
Yep.